Wow. Wow is all you can say. Edreed put out a number of videos, well, two yesterday, and one we touched on, just react in real time on the first video. And I'm going to break that down, but the second video really was problematic. And we're going to get to both of them later on in this particular video, reacting to them. My big thing is I've never heard a coach publicly complain like that. And I say this, I went throughout the day and thought about it, and it's just not becoming of an HBCU head coach. And it's super unfortunate because, you know, I get it. He's an NFL Hall of Famer. I get some of his perspective. I get some of his frustration. But the point of it is you're at an HBCU and you have a higher responsibility no matter where your walk of life is. And I found that second video completely unacceptable. He has to follow the blueprint that has been made by Coach Deion Sanders. Now, everything Coach Prime did was not always right. I don't think he handled the exit the best way, but he did a whole lot right, and he set a whole big blueprint for coaches to come and and use your resources when you don't have as much, especially at a HBCU. And I thought how Coach Prime handled himself on and off camera was exemplary. Even though the camera was always on for the most part, he still carried himself the best way. And we're going to get to all of that. So let me get to the first video. First video, which we reacted to yesterday, Coach Reed basically said, he's the coach of Bethune Cookman. He's started saying that Coach Prime was right. Everything he said about HBCUs were right. And that he had done more work in a week than some people have done at HBCUs in years. He didn't specifically name Bethune Cookman at that point, but to me, it was a direct shot at administrators or people within the building. And he alluded to again that his contract was not, signed, sealed, and delivered. I can get that part of the frustration. Now, the first video, I don't necessarily think you need to air, in-house business, but he did it. But it wasn't that bad. It was, to me, it was the arrogance part of, he did more in a week. I can understand that, him feeling that, but he doesn't know that for certain. But that's fine. I can understand that he doesn't have his contract official and signed. That's disappointing. I can completely understand where he's coming from with that. Now, before we go too far, Bethune Cookman is a private HBCU, all right? It's located in Daytona Beach. It has an enrollment of about 4,000 students. I think less than 4,000 students. So I don't think he came into it expecting the world. I don't know what kind of discount they have. I get that Coach Reed has coached in different places, and he is an NFL Hall of Famer. So he has a perception that this is a big discount for him that he's starting here, which could be true. I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying that. Those things can be true. But he started to pick on Bethune Cookman, or HBCUs, excuse me, in the second video, which to me was completely unacceptable. The second video, he did an IG live, and whether IG live or TikTok, whatever it was, he was cussing throughout the video. He was completely negative throughout the video, and the first video I reposted. He didn't say things too bad. I was able to repost it and react to it. The second video I can't even put up here because there was so much cussing in there. They're gonna take my video down if I put what he said on IG Live. It was completely ridiculous. I've never seen a coach use profanity outside of like a press conference. Just spur of the moment, go live. I'm gonna start cussing. It was completely inappropriate, and knowing he's on camera and this is going to social media, a lot of a lot of s words and words that aren't appropriate to be repeated. And he complained a lot about his office wasn't clean and that he was picking up trash all over the place where he was. That building right there is effing trash. He's pointing at facilities on Bethune Cookman's campus and calling it effing trash. That's completely out of bounds, Ed. Completely out of bounds. you have to, going back to Coach Prime's, to me, blueprint, you have to have kind of a heart of a servant. And to me, that is what Deion has said and actually done with his actions. If you watch him on his IG lives or IG posts or YouTube, whatever, you're going to see him clean his own office each and every day. There could be people that could do that for him, but he insists on doing that to get his spirit right. He is okay with vacuuming and cleaning and picking up his own office, and that man got 8 toes. That man has a bad foot that he has to have physical therapy on, and he still has enough energy and enough humbleness in this aspect to do it himself. To say, oh, these people haven't cleaned my office. They have not cleaned my office before I came in. I thought that was super, super cavalier, super arrogant, super just just unnecessary to the people that gave him an opportunity at Bethune Cookman. So backing up, I thought the lesson he could learn was that to have that humbleness. He was out there proclaiming in the second video, picking up trash with his football team. That's great. You don't have to post it, but I'm glad you did. That's great. But then to complain that when I got this job, they haven't cleaned my office in this building, it's effing trash. Unacceptable. Clean the building yourself. Clean your office yourself. It's not that difficult to do. You want to bring the football team in to help do it? Go ahead. By the way, you're a millionaire. You want to bring in a staff to do it? That's fine. Instead of getting on a platform that you, by the way, you have more subscribers and followers than students at their university. And that, again, they gave you the opportunity to come in and be a head coach for the first time in your coaching career. I thought that was just completely unacceptable. And again, I don't want to be unfair to Ed in this aspect. I can get his perspective a little bit, not the picking up stuff. He just feels like, to me, he feels like he's an NFL Hall of Famer, which he is, one of the greatest safeties of all time, if not the best safety of all time. I get that. He's using his time instead of, staying at the University of Miami or going to work for another NFL team like he did before and coming to an HBCU. And when he got there, he felt there were certain things that should be handled. Yeah, the contract should be done. That's completely get that. You getting me at a discount. Let's just say what it is and make sure I am compensated for at least that's what you all can do. At least you all can make this a big deal for me and say, oh, this building should be pristine or these fields should be pristine and all this other stuff. I got it. But let's check your ego at the door, okay? You're not going to a Power 5. You just left Miami. It's not going to be Miami, all right? It's not going to be any NFL place. It's not going to be the Baltimore Ravens, all right? It's not going to be the New York Jets or wherever else you played. It's going to be Bethune Cookman, a private HBCU, all right? That means they're getting money from the students, not so much the state, all right? You need to check your ego at the door. I got it. You should have had, that was one of his big sticking points, the contract. I got that part. But you have to have so much more to step back and see the bigger picture. Yeah, they may not even think to do all these things. Why are you picking on them? Why are you picking on them publicly? Why can't you have a conversation behind closed doors? And if you had that conversation, that's great. Maybe don't take the job. I mean, and that's the next thing. What are the next steps? I can tell you right now, a lot of the alumni base didn't like it. A lot. I don't know. We haven't heard from the president and the administration there, but I can't imagine they liked what they heard from their head coach, the leader of their football program. That's not how an HBCU coach is supposed to act. Okay, at all. Excuse me. Let me take that back. How a football coach for any institution should act on social media. It's just not. It's unbecoming, and that's not the type of leader you may want your son or your daughter, your gender fluid person, to go to, be under or be around. So again, the second video gave off a lot of cussing, a lot of negativity, entitled, and what he didn't give off was having the heart of a servant. And look, football coaches cuss. They cuss all the time. I cuss. I'm not saying that's the end all be all. You can't do that. But when you're cussing with negativity about someone other than your opponent, people you're supposed to be working with, that comes off in the wrong way. And that's sending the wrong message, and that's sending the wrong tone. There's something to be said because Coach Prime does not cuss at all. Could that video been received a little better without the cussing? I think so. It could have took a little off of it. But when you're saying that your facilities are effing trash and you got to do all these things yourself, it's just giving off the wrong. It's just negative. You're not helping anybody. So he needs to take the blueprint. If you want to elevate and go to the next level, you saw what Coach Prime did at HBCU. Then he went to a Power 5 after a few years, after helping HBCUs and putting in the work. That's what you got to do. You have to be more of a humble person. You have to be able to address things in the media if you want to. That's fine, but say it in a respectful way. Even if you disagree with the person. I never heard Coach Prime be outright just nasty to people. They may have been nasty behind closed doors. They may be fake behind closed doors, whatever the case may be. But he never acted like that. No other coach that I know of has acted like that. So we get it, NFL Hall of Famer, but we all got to go to the same financial aid office at the HBCUs, okay? Because that's what I had to do. My HBCU lost my complete financial aid packet. Did I go crazy? No. I know I'm not going to have money for the next few weeks, but I didn't act like that. So I just thought that was disrespectful. And I was in some of the Twitter spaces today. The Twitter spaces with the HBCU writers, they're hot. They're on his backside. They were very displeased with him, and they're grouping in everyone saying, these NFL players are setting back HBCUs. And these professional athletes are setting back HBCUs. I completely disagree with that. I think that's asinine. I think they're using this as a blanket on how they really truly feel. And the part, and this is the other part of it. I get that Ed Reed, what he's complaining about, a lot of it is true. And a lot of people don't like the way he said it. Let me tell you, I don't like the way he said it. I don't like the way he came off. And yeah, you could tell the truth, but it's how you tell the truth. Because there's the difference between telling the truth as a family member and telling the truth as an adversary. And if we family, that didn't sound like family. That sounded adversary. Like you oppose this person. We got ops. And if you feel like you got ops, maybe you shouldn't take the job. And I'm getting to that in a second. Because the next steps are, does he coach at Bethune Cookman, or will a deal be called off? I would think the administration is thinking about that. And what's the path forward? Because his first press conference is going to be pretty rough. I would think once everything's signed and official. Again, I was on a few spaces on platforms where they had writers that cover HBCUs that were incensed. They were unhappy. They were brought up that Coach Ed Reed actually interviewed for Morgan State, that he turned down. Morgan State turned down him and went with Damon Wilson. And to me, they were like, they dodged a complete utter bullet. This person is coming in with these high expectations, and he refuses to set those expectations for himself. That's just not gonna be good for the future path. And that video that he put out, if him coaching on a higher level is really his destination as an athletic director, that's going to give me a lot of pause. If I don't get on the same page with him, when will he just open up his phone and talk to all of his followers? That's concerning. I don't, and talking to all of his followers about our university in a negative way. That's super concerning. So I really hope that, to me, Ed Reed needs to apologize for the second video. Like I said, the first video, I felt he was a little bit arrogant, but he was in a respectful way, and he said, what he said, and he was upset that his contract wasn't officialized and finalized. And I get that. I would be mad too. I'd be upset about that too. Second video, unacceptable. Unacceptable. He's yelling at people. He's saying these facilities are trash. They didn't even clean my office. I don't even have a deal. It just came off as something that shouldn't have been online. And if that's the big deal, maybe it shouldn't be there. I hope I didn't come off too angry because I do get its perspective a little bit. This is a big deal. Him being at a HBCU is a big deal. He's an NFL Hall of Famer, best safety, if not the best safety to ever play. Ever play. Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches, if not the greatest coach, said Ed Reed had the best play as a free safety he's ever seen in his life. That's very, very high praise. So when you're in that sphere and you decide to start coaching and you have a few different choices, you can start in this different place or not, and then you have coaching experience. I get that going to a HBCU at that particular time, you're bringing a lot of value, but you can't bring a lot of negativity. And that second video was a lot of negativity. Anyway, steps forward. I feel that Ed Reed needs to apologize, say that's not what he intends to do, and 3, get on the same page with Bethune Cookman and say nothing like that will ever happen again. If he cannot do that, if he wants to continue to act entitled and act bratish and not have that heart of a servant, he's not following anybody's blueprint. He's just gonna say, no, I'm an NFL Hall of Famer and all this stuff should be how it is. That's not gonna work. Step aside, let someone else do it. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I don't know what else to say. Please let me know y'all comments. It has been a disappointing second half of Sunday going into MLK Day. All these, making these negative videos, these just super negative videos right before MLK Day against the HBCU. It's just, the timing is off, the context, it's just compounding. And please get this man's contract done and have him beg for HBCU's forgiveness and Bethune Cookman's forgiveness. If not, if he can't get that, let him show him the door. Just don't understand, because I feel that Coach Reed can do a lot. He has probably done a lot. He can upgrade that facility and do things and use his partnerships to help that university and help HBCUs. So I really hope that he can be a conduit to that and be a conduit to those kids to show them that when you're in an authoritative role, you have a higher responsibility, especially at a HBCU. Thou shalt not talk bad about HBCUs. Okay, not with mixed company. not where everyone can see, and it's not a Bethune Cookman company. It's everybody across the world. No, can't do it. All right, until next time, y'all let me know what y'all think. Heritage Sports.